Bad dick, busty chick. Kids get slick, I might get the stick.
So now we are going to put the patterns on the fabric and cut out the fabric. We are working with the front right now. We're going to put the front right side down and the back right side up. And we're going to pin the shoulders and the side seams together. After doing that, we're going to sew them. I did I think a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So we're going to sew them there, there, and there. All right. So now we're going to get our facing, and I did one part of the facing in black, and then I ran out of, because it was just like scrap, and I ran out of the black, so I had to do the rest in the gold fabric. But we're gonna pin them right sides together. So that's the front, pin to the back, and yes, we're gonna pin right here too, and then we're gonna sew that little bit too. All right, okay. This is how the front and back looks sewn together. And right now I'm just matching up the facing. And here you're gonna see that I realized that I should have actually like split the back facing in half, because as I said before, it's a dress and it has a zipper. So because my facing was actually a little bit stretchy, I just snipped that. And I was just gonna like ease it into the, you know, the facing, I'm gonna ease into the neck. Slowly but surely with a little bit of stretch. So I'm just gonna snip it, and I wished for the best. So I matched up center back and the shoulder seams, and I'm pinning them together, and then I'm gonna sew it all the way down. This is neck facing sewn, and I went in not a quarter, like really like right on the edge, and I did a tiny little stitch so that the seam can be folded under like this and laid flat, right? You can pin it, and then we can like tack it later. So now working with the waistband, I actually did the waistband part 1 in the glittery fabric and then 1 in the facing fabric, because we need 4 pieces of it all together. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 of the facing. So it's like 6 pieces all together. Can't add clearly. So with the right size facing, I add the front to the back, and I pin the side seams, and then I go and I sew them. When that is done, we throw on the top. And then we pin the waistband by bringing it to our front. This is the back, right? So we're pinning it to the front just to make sure it's nice and snug. And then we're gonna smoosh it around to the back. So I'm gonna pin right there. And then we're gonna turn it around to the back. And then we're gonna adjust the top so it fits us better. We match up the side seams together, so we're gonna match that up and we're gonna pin there. Then we're gonna just let the center front bits fall naturally. And then right here, you're gonna see the little excess. That's where we're going to put our fake dart. I call it fake dart because I actually didn't want to sew it all the way up due to the type of fabric. So I literally just like folded it and let it do its own thing. By the way, my fabric has a bit of stretch to it. It's a neoprene fabric. So yeah, that's what it. So you see, like, if I pin this right here, it's gonna have that little like gather fabric bit at the top. So that, yeah, see? Okay. So that is where, see, and it should fit nice. And don't worry about the back, because no one looks at the back anyway. I'm just kidding. You'll fix that in time, I suppose. You don't want your fabric pulling like how mine is. So to fix that, you pull at the bottom. You pull it at the bottom, and you pin, you make sure it's like that. You don't want it to look gathery and messed up because that's gonna make it look homemade. You get me? So right now we're going to, like, I took off everything, but I kept the waistband at the front pinned to the top. Okay, I never pinned the back because of course I couldn't reach there. So I left the pins in, and now I'm just marking everything with a little chalk pen I have, and I'm going to cut off any excess. My top was a little long, so I had about 2 inches to cut off from the center front pieces. Make sure both sides are equal, as you don't want to have one boob sitting higher than the other. So this is me here ensuring that it's equal. Okay, so now I unpin everything, and well, I unpin everything, I cut everything, but then I'm adding it back now to the waistband. So with right sides facing, I'm adding it to the waistband, matching up side seams again all the way to the back, and this is how it should look sewn. So now I'm going to get the black part, which is the facing. So I'm gonna sandwich it between the front piece, the front top piece, and the waistband. You know what I mean? So this is how it looks sewn. I hope y'all understand. So it should be sandwiched, and then when you turn it to the front, it should look like this. Alright, now working with the skirt, we are going to start folding the pleats over based on the pattern, and we're going to pin it. Initially, or ideally I should say, you should baste the pleats, but I didn't want to do that because I was too lazy. Oh wait, actually I did do it. Haha! Yes, I basted the pleats. Wow, I'm not that lazy. But right now I'm like curving the waistline, because remember I mentioned about curving it before? I curved the waistline, and now I'm adding the front pleated skirt to the back pleated with right sides facing. And pin the side seams, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew the side seams. It's finished sewn. We're going to get the front of the dress. We're not going to pin the waistband to the facing. We're only pinning the waistband of the top to the waistband of the skirt, or the top of the skirt. Alright, so not the facing yet, just the glitter part. So that's going to be sewn. And this is how it looks. I don't like how floppy it was. And the scuba that I wanted to use, the black one, they didn't have any in stock. They haven't had any in stock in forever. So I had to use this, and I wasn't too pleased with that. So I made it like a bootleg tutu, but let's not talk about that right now. On to the sleeve. Now right here I have sew-on interfacing. Based on how floppy the skirt part was, I wanted my puffs to be puffy. So I'm just placing the sleeve over the, what do you call this now? I just said it. Interfacing, and I just cut it as shown. Like I literally didn't do any like special thing. Where I know the puffs are going to be at the curve, that's where I put the interfacing. It's just going to give it structure and help it to stay up and not flop like the skirt. Understand? Finish ironing. We're going to add a 1/4 inch basting stitch to the curve and to the bottom of the sleeve. This is it. And when you do a basting stitch, it's supposed to be like a big stitch with like long ends, and when you pull them, they create little puffs and ruffles. Like this. Well, they don't create puffs, they create ruffles. So I put the sleeve cuff there so that I can know how much I need to ruffle at the bottom of the sleeve. Like that, see? We do the same to the top, but just focus more of the puffs onto the curve of the sleeve, of the top of the sleeve, and not towards like the bottom, you know, like the top curve, not the 2 bottom curves on either side. All right. Okay, so fold the cuff, round sides together, and pin to the bottom of the sleeve that's ruffled. So I do one end, and then I pin the other end, and then I distribute the ruffles so it's nice and cute. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I mean. Distribute, and then we're gonna sew that. And this is how they should look. With the right sides together, I folded on the arm seam of the sleeves and I sew them down. With the round side of the dress facing us, I'm going to go inside the dress and pin the right side of the sleeve to the right side of the dress. And here I am distributing the puffs at the top, and I'm making sure that it's all equal and it fits nicely when pinned to the inside of the armhole of the dress. And this is how it should look. Now remember the waistband facing that we didn't sew? We're going to now fold it under. We could have done this before too, but I don't know. We're now going to fold it under, but we're going to fold it so it covers the seam, the waist seam, right? So you're going to fold it under, cover the waist seam, and we're going to pin it. Now I'm pinning to the back side, the round side, so I can make sure I'm actually getting the seam. Then I'm going to flip it over to the right side and repin it, making sure that I have the fold pinned underneath but caught in the pin at the front. And I did that so quickly. But what you do is then you top stitch it on the right side as close to the seam as possible. So it's called stitching the ditch. And I put in the invisible zipper already, clearly. But y'all didn't need to know how to do an invisible zipper, so I did that. Right here, when we get the facing, we are going to get the top of the facing, as you can see, fold it over so the zipper is sandwiched in between the facing and the top of the garment. You're gonna pin there, and then you're gonna pin it again, and then we're gonna stitch that down. Oh, this last part was a hot mess, huh? And this is how it looks sewn. So now all we have to do is hold the corners and turn it inside out. You can trim off the corners if you want to, but I didn't. I'm just trimming off the excess zipper that's at the top. And then you can tack the facing all the way down the neckline, so it's not loose and flapping all over the place. But this is how it should look. And I should have done a better job with the invisible zipper. But guys, I was like so tired. I don't know why I choose to do these things in the middle of the night. But yeah, after that, all you have to do is hem the bottom of the skirt and you are done, sis!